Good morning, everybody. Thanks for the welcome. And I will take you rapidly through digital transformation of aviation industry as we see it in Airbus. So 1 trillion industry transformation in 15 minutes. I try to stick to the time. So I try to give you the big picture as we have seen it in the last 2 years in Airbus. Building digital continuity basically is the key word for creating value across the industry, is by connecting the data across the full value chain that we are releasing superior data from airlines to OEMs, to suppliers, to authorities. And we've started 2 years ago with our own facilities, our own processes, our own support operations. Progressively, we extended as we got more confident towards suppliers and towards customers, and I will dwell on that. Remind just digital continuity is the key word, more than data analytics, big data, artificial intelligence, and blockchain. All these will come on top, but first, release the power of data. And releasing the power of data is about data integration in a very complex, extended industry. This is the system landscape of the A320 production, fully optimized, as you can see, but with products that are spanning 30 years lifetime, with industrial systems, which are spanning 30 years lifetime. This is a fatality for every new program. Every new program will have to manage complex system integration. But if you look at things at system level and trying to connect the system together so that they talk to each other, you're stuck. What you have to do is to extract the data from the systems, which are very heterogeneous, from SAP to Excel to Amasis to Amos, and to build that into data pipelines that are curated for the quality of data and cyber protected. So from systems to data. That's what we have done by building Skywise, which is basically a data lake. And we built it for us. As you could see at the bottom, we built it for hosting all these data sources from manufacturing to engineering to support. And as the aircraft, of course, as a full life cycle, we had to follow the aircraft into operation with our airlines customers. So we included progressively the support operations, the network, the in-service fleet performance and incidents. And more, we are growing towards third-party passenger applications and suppliers. So we started, as I said, many people will tell you a nice speech about digital transformation and how good their solution is. Since you all know that Airbus is not a stellar software company, we are more big pieces of engineering hardware manufacturer, we had first to convince ourselves about what was digital transformation for Airbus and how we could really deliver a software innovation into the industry. So we applied it to us. And we've built, starting especially with the 350 ramp-up, we've built several pipelines of data with a heterogeneous landscape that I've described, so that we could access this data, merge that data, and on top of that, give the data at the right moment to the right people on the engineering, on the shop floor, so they could address real business issues. We didn't do that alone. Again, we are not the best in software. We partnered with Palantir Technologies to develop these solutions and to go fast with proven technological solutions. We applied it mostly, as said, to 350. This helped tremendously the 350 to reach its targets into production ramp-up and to operational design goals. We estimate that we have saved more than several hundreds of millions of dollars just applying digital technology to the ramp-up of the 350, not to mention all the other that we are rolling out today across the 320, the 330, and the 380 fleet. I don't go into much detail, but I can tell you we have 40 use cases with 6,000 users internally. But this is not limited to Airbus. Airbus is 25% of the value chain, 75% is the suppliers, and of course, airlines have the rest of the operation with MROs. So our approach to data and to the data lake is to build it as a full ecosystem, initially with traditional partners, so airlines, suppliers, Airbus, naturally. We are merging the data of these three huge consistencies, but we are looking further. We are prototyping several approaches with MROs, of course, for looking at the operation of the aircraft in service. Lessors are very interested. They own 50% of the fleet, as you well know, and they want to know better individually their aircraft and how they perform. Insurers are interested in very detailed and granular information about risks and performance in the different fleets. Authorities, of course, we have several discussions going on with associations and authorities, since all of them, for safety reasons or performance reasons or environmental reasons, are going towards data lake approaches for the profession. I forgot to mention the software developers, because Skywise is an open platform, so we want third-party developers to be able to develop applications on the data which are hosted on the platform, like you would find in Android. So to airline, I don't go into too much detail, but we know very much today where we can add value through the data access, through the data visualization, the automatic dashboarding, but also on top, machine learning and analytics of this incredible volume of data. So it's a nice marketing presentation, but I can tell you that we have gone further than that. We have prototyped this approach that we disclosed in Le Bourget 15 months ago with early adopter airline. We have defined the use cases precisely, the ways of working, the governance of the data, the protection of the data. It's a free core platform, so we didn't spend too much time on the business model for the time being. It will come with the applications on top of the platform. But it's already a reality. It's a reality with a certain number of airlines with very precise use cases, and the good news is that we can repeat the use cases from airline to airline because the problematics are not so very different. We are learning also a lot on how to connect the systems into the airlines and progressing a lot. The level of performance today, we can download the data of all aircraft of the fleet, plus all the maintenance and operation system, close to 1 day in the airline. It took us 2 years, 2 years ago. It can take 1 day today with the processes that have been put in place. It's difficult to believe, but I can tell you we have done it internally. Airbus landscape is complex, and we have done it with the airlines, and you can ask your colleagues. So it's a reality because this is where we stand today. We started 15 months ago. That gives you an idea also of the space, the speed, and the space of this transformation. Today, we are 29 airlines on the platform. We are at more than 3,000 aircraft connected. And one thing which is not on the slide, which is interesting, 3.5 petabyte of data is one thing, but what is more interesting, 113 information systems from different airlines connected. And this in less than 15 months. When I mean connected, it's live data pipelines, either from the aircraft, sensors of the aircraft, sensor data, or from the MIS, or from the operation systems of the airlines. We have also 13 early adopters for suppliers. We want to develop with suppliers the same approach as we develop with airlines, because without suppliers, we will not fix the operational issues in the fleet. And we disclose in Farnborough a certain number of partners on the supplier side. We have engine manufacturers as partners for sharing data and improving, in the end, the performance of our aircraft. Data, I know that it's a subject which is debated everywhere. Who owns the data? The big problem with saying that data is the new gold is that everybody wants to have ownership. We don't believe that way. We believe that we are not claiming the property of the data. We are mixing Airbus data with airline data. I'll let you read the statements, but everything is more about sharing data, open data approach. People are free to opt in or opt out if they don't see the value. And this is how it's happening in most of the industries. In some industries, you have even competitors creating joint venture companies with anonymized data just to leverage as an industry the power of the data. We strongly believe in that, more than Airbus will keep its data and try to monetize it to the airlines. Or you could say the equivalent on the supplier side or on the airline side. It's by sharing that we are creating superior common value. And just to give you a number, we estimate that the friction cost of not sharing data today in the industry is 50 billion. 50 billion on an industry of 1 trillion. And we just think that data will allow to unleash that level of value. And I can tell you the investors and your investors are starting to be aware of that. So we'd better deliver on that promise. Of course, cybersecurity, but it's no news, it has been talked about, is prominent, and data governance is prominent into that approach. So since my presentation is called Myths and Reality, I just conclude on that. Myths. Digital is difficult. That was our statement 2 years ago. How to apply digital transformation to us. It's, we are heavy, we are regulated, so we cannot do much. It's wrong. Each time we have applied it, 40 internal projects, 15 use cases with airlines, probably 6 with suppliers, we have double-digit improvements. At the scale of this industry, you add up very quickly to the 50 billion. I can tell you if you look at the exponential. An heavy hardware industry like an aircraft, the most complex probably product of the industrial revolution, how can it be affected by software or by B2C type of technologies which are used by Amazon and Airbnb? This has nothing to do with us. I think Amadeus will tell us that it has on the customer front, but it has also on the hardware and operational side for the industry. If we have the right priorities and we have enough open mind, the proper partnerships, I mentioned partnership, technology partnerships especially, that needs to augment our industry. If we can hire the right skills, it was mentioned for cyber, but digital data science, artificial intelligence will be key also in our companies. We have hired 400 people in that domain in the last 12 months. We can deliver this type of value. We should not rush, we have time. And we are regulated, protected, heavy, long cycles. I don't believe so. It's exactly the characteristics of industries that are disrupted. Protected, regulated, heavy, not fully optimized. It's exactly what the Google and the Amazons are looking for. And I can tell you, they are looking at aviation. We are discussing with them, they are looking with aviation. So the playing ground is not set. Our products and operations, we heard that this morning, we are very safe, we are very optimized on certain criteria, that's true.